Welcome back to Investing Talk Podcast. We're so glad you could join us. Today, we're tackling a question that's popped up quite a bit recently. Is Vipshop a good time to buy now? We're going to explore all the angles on this one. And hey, before we jump in, if you find these discussions helpful, please take a second to subscribe, like, maybe leave a comment. It really does help us reach more curious minds like yours. And if you'd like to support our work, you could consider buying us a coffee. Also, really important, if there's a specific company you'd like us to look into, please just let us know in the comments below. Okay, let's unpack this. Vipshop. What exactly is it, and, why is this name drawing our attention right now?
Right. Well, Vipshop, it's essentially carved out this really interesting niche. It's China's leading online discount retailer. Think digital outlet for branded goods. And what's kind of fascinating here is its resilience. Even in a pretty challenging retail environment over there, its focused approach seems to be helping.
A discount retailer.
Yep.
Interesting. So focusing helps them stand out from the giants.
Exactly. Now, they did see a slight dip in overall active customers recently, down to 43.5 million from 44.3 million. But, and this is really key, the super VIP segment, those are their most loyal customers. That segment actually saw double-digit growth.
Oh, wow. So fewer casual shoppers maybe, but the core group is stronger.
Precisely. It suggests a really strong, loyal customer base, even if the wider net isn't quite as broad right now. They seem to be deepening the relationship with their best customers.
Okay, that's a critical point. So the model seems focused. Let's talk numbers then. What do the financials actually tell us? How has Vipshop been performing recently on paper?
Well, the latest figures, Q2 2025, they paint a bit of a mixed picture, honestly. Total net revenues came in at RMB 25.8 billion. That's about, what, $3.6 billion US dollars?
Oh, that's substantial.
It is, but it's actually a 4% decline year on year.
Yeah.
It was RMB 26.9 billion the year before. And we see similar trends elsewhere. Gross profit was RMB 6.1 billion, or $845 million. That's also down slightly from RMB 6.3 billion.
And the bottom line? Net income.
Net income attributable to shareholders, yeah, that was RMB 1.5 billion, around $208 million, again, down from RMB 1.9 billion or $265 million a year ago. If you look at the trailing 12 months, the revenue is RMB 105.97 billion. That's down about 5.35% year over year. So there's definitely a pattern of modest declines.
Those numbers sound like, well, a bit of a mixed bag, like you said. Declines aren't usually what investors cheer for. Is there any good news hiding in Vipshop's overall financial health picture?
There is, actually, if we connect this to the bigger picture.
Yeah.
Their gross margin is still quite robust. It's sitting at 23.5%.
23.5%. That's pretty healthy, right? Especially for a discount model.
It is, yeah. It shows they're managing their costs well within their niche.
Yeah.
And maybe even more importantly, their cash position is really strong. They have RMB 24.7 billion. That's roughly $3.5 billion in cash and equivalents on hand.
Wow, okay, so they have a cushion.
It's a significant one. Plus, the company remains profitable, and they're actively returning value to shareholders. They pushed out over $614 million in dividends and buybacks just in the first half of 2025. So no immediate solvency concerns jump out, even if recent reports don't detail exact debt levels. They seem quite liquid.
Okay, that's reassuring. But wait, wasn't there something about expenses?
Yes. Good point. Operating expenses did increase. They were up 6.3% year on year in Q2. And that is something to watch. When revenue is dipping and costs are rising, well, that puts pressure on margins, doesn't it?
It definitely does. Okay, so strong financial base overall, plenty of cash, good margins, but facing these revenue headwinds and rising costs. So here's where it gets really interesting, I think. How does Vipshop navigate this intense competitive landscape in China? You've got giants like JD.com, Alibaba. How do they compete?
Well, like we touched on, that focused niche as a discount retailer really helps insulate them to some extent. Think about it. JD and Alibaba are like massive online department stores selling almost everything. Vipshop is more specialized. It's the go-to for branded goods at a discount.
So they're not directly head-to-head on everything?
Not entirely. Vipshop focuses on, say, flash sales for specific apparel brands or end-of-season luxury items. It's a different value proposition than just, everyday low prices on staples, which might be more Alibaba's game. This focus means they aren't as susceptible, perhaps, to a general slowdown hitting the broader e-commerce giants. They cater to a specific bargain-hunting desire for branded items.
Okay, that niche strategy makes sense as a defensive move. So given these fundamentals, the niche, the cash, but also the pressures, what do the valuation metrics tell us? Is the market seeing this as an opportunity or pricing in the risk?
Right, let's look at valuation. The price-to-sales ratio, the PS, is currently around 0.59.
0.59, that sounds low.
It's quite modest, yeah. It basically means investors are paying about 59 cents for every dollar of Vipshop's revenue. Considering their market cap is $8.36 billion USD, well, it suggests the market isn't assigning a high premium right now. And importantly, compared to the broader industry, Vipshop trades at a lower PS ratio. This suggests it might be attractively valued relative to its peers.
So potentially undervalued then, especially with that cash pile you mentioned.
That's the argument, yes. Relatively speaking, against the sector, it looks undervalued, particularly when you factor in the cash reserves and those stable gross margins we discussed. It doesn't scream overpriced based on sales.
That's a strong indication of potential value. But, the flip side, could the market be right to be cautious? Could those declining revenues justify this lower multiple?
That's the crux of the debate, isn't it? The bear case would absolutely say that declining revenues and shrinking active users warrant a discount. Maybe the S&PS is expected to shrink further. It's definitely not a clear-cut buy based only on the low PS. It could be a value trap if the declines continue unchecked. But again, the strong cash position and profitability are key differentiators from a company that's truly struggling.
Right, context is everything. Okay, so the valuation suggests potential value, but with caveats. What about the stock price itself? What's the technical picture looking like right now for traders?
Sure. Looking at the chart, Vipshop's ADR closed at $16.96 on August 15, 2025. Not much movement after hours. Recently, it's been trading largely in a range, sort of bouncing between $15.50 on the low end that seems to be providing support and bumping up against resistance near $18.50.
So I'm stuck in a channel for now.
Pretty much. The short-term trend looks, well, neutral to bearish, honestly, influenced by that price volatility we've seen and, of course, the declining earnings reports. Volume has been moderate, nothing crazy. Volatility is also kind of average. So technically, it's not giving super strong buy or sell signals right now. More of a holding pattern.
Okay. Beyond the hard numbers and the charts, what's the sort of buzz? What's the recent news flow and sentiment around Vipshop? Are analysts making big calls? Any insider moves?
Well, the Q2 results we covered were the main recent news. And while revenue and net income dipped slightly, analysts did pick up on the growth in gross merchandise volume, or GMV.
GMV. That's the total value of stuff sold on the platform, right? Before returns and things.
Exactly. And growth there is seen as a positive leading indicator. It suggests people are still buying, even if the net revenue figure is affected by other factors. This probably feeds into Vipshop's Q3 outlook. They've hinted at potential stabilization, maybe even a mild rebound. Their revenue estimate for Q3 is between RMB 20.7 and 21.7 billion. That could be up to 5% year-on-year growth.
Okay, so a potential turnaround hinted at for Q3. What are analysts saying officially? Upgrades, downgrades?
Interestingly, not much movement there. No major upgrades or downgrades cited recently. Seems like Wall Street is largely in a wait-and-see mode, wanting more proof of a sustained recovery. Same story with insiders. No significant buying or selling reported lately.
And what about, social media chatter? Retail investors.
Sentiment there seems cautious, mirroring the analysts, really. People recognize the revenue flatness or declines, but they also acknowledge the niche strength in the cash. So it's not panic, but it's not exactly roaring enthusiasm either. More like watchful waiting.
Okay, a cautious wait-and-see vibe seems prevalent. So looking ahead then, what does this all mean? What are the potential catalysts, the things that could really move the needle for Vipshop, both short-term and long-term?
Right, catalysts. Short-term, all eyes are on that upcoming Q3 2025 earnings report. That's huge. Will they hit that guidance? Will GMV continue to look healthy? Also, any signs of a broader recovery in Chinese consumer spending would obviously be a big help. A rising tide lifts all boats, as they say.
Makes sense. And longer term?
Longer term, you could look at things like sector consolidation. Could Vipshop be an M&A target, or maybe use its cash to acquire someone else? Strategic partnerships are also possible. Regulatory changes in Chinese e-commerce are always a potential catalyst, positive or negative. And internally, continued success with that super VIP platform, maybe finding ways to improve gross margins even further, those could be significant drivers over time.
Those catalysts offer potential upside, definitely. But we always have to talk about the other side of the coin. What are the main risk factors investors really need to keep front of mind here?
Absolutely crucial. This raises an important question, right? What could go wrong? Stock-specific risks. We've hammered this, but the declining net income and shrinking overall active customer base are real concerns. Execution risk, too. Can they manage those rising operating expenses effectively?
And the competition isn't going away?
Not at all. Pressure from bigger players like Alibaba and JD is constant. They could always decide to target Vipshop's discount niche more aggressively. Then you have the broader market and sector risks. The Chinese consumer sector can be volatile. Plus, you've got macro factors. Ongoing regulatory oversight from Beijing, geopolitical tensions, and simple currency fluctuations between the RMB and the US dollar. All of those can impact an investment.
Okay, a lot to weigh there. So after digging through all this information, the financials, the market view, the outlook, the catalysts, and importantly, the risks, what's the final investment thesis for Vipshop? Bottom line, is it a good time to buy now?
All right, the final verdict. Based on everything we've discussed, we're giving Vipshop an overall rating of, let's say, 6.5 out of 10.
6.5. Okay, why that specific number?
Well, the rationale breaks down like this. On the plus side, you have that undervalued valuation relative to sales, the very strong cash reserves, and a solid niche position. Those are definite positives, providing a foundation. However, the challenges are clear. Those recent declines in revenue, net income, and active customers are significant near-term hurdles. You can't just ignore those. So the medium-term outlook really hinges on two main things: a recovery in Chinese consumer demand and Vipshop's ability to manage costs while driving sales effectively.
So who is the stock potentially good for right now?
Given the current volatility and the uncertainty around that longer-term growth path, it seems best suited for short-term trading at the moment. Someone looking to play the range, perhaps, or bet on a positive Q3 surprise. For long-term investors, the advice might be to, wait and see. Look for more sustained improvement in those key operational metrics: revenue growth, customer growth, and maybe clearer signs of strength in the overall sector before committing significant capital for the long haul.
That's a very clear and nuanced breakdown. It really offers different perspectives depending on your own investment style and timeline. Thanks for walking us through all of that. So what stands out to you listening in? VipShop, it's a really fascinating case study, isn't it? You've got this profitable, cash-rich company, strong niche, but it's navigating a tricky market with, frankly, mixed results. The big question for each of us becomes, are these current headwinds just a temporary dip, maybe offering an opportunity if you're nimble? Or are they signs of deeper shifts that mean maybe a more cautious, longer-term approach is warranted? We really hope this exploration helps you make more informed decisions. Thank you so much for joining us on Investing Talk Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, maybe buy us that coffee if you enjoyed this. Your support really helps us keep digging into these companies. Until next time, keep learning, keep questioning, and happy investing.